Class we are going to discuss about what are the other properties of the materials. So before going to start, what are the other properties of the materials? Just we will recall what we have learned in the last class. So in the last class we have learned about what are the different varieties of the objects present around us, and also we have learned how the objects can be grouped according to their size, color and uses. And we also know about the material, the objects what we are using in our daily life. Those materials, they are made up of more than one different materials. And also here these materials, the objects can be classified according to their certain properties. Yesterday we have discussed about the properties of the material. In that, first one is appearance, next one is the hardness. We have classified the object according to the appearance, how they look, whether they are shining or they are dull. And also we have discussed about the hardness. So the objects which can be compressible, those are very soft. Which cannot be compressible, those are hard. Like that, appearance and hardness of the properties of the material we have discussed. Now today in our class we will move on to discuss about the third property, that is the soluble or insoluble. So before going to start this soluble and insoluble properties of substances, we will do one of the activity. Yes, my dear children, now we will do the activity 4. In this activity, I had collected some of the solid substances. So, sugar, salt, chalk powder, sand and sawdust. These are the 5 solid substances I had collected. Later, in 5 cups, you have to add little quantity of the water. I had added little quantity of water in 5 glasses. Now you have to keep some amount of each solid substances in each glass. So now I will add the sugar. This is the salt. This is the chalk powder. This is the sand. This is the sawdust. After adding, you have to stir in each glass. For a few minutes, you have to stir in each glass. Yes, my dear children, look at here. So, sugar, it will be completely dissolved in water, and salt also completely dissolved in water. Chalk powder, sand and sawdust, sawdust it is floating on the layer, but sand it will be settled at the bottom of this cup. So from this activity we came to know that some of the substances, they are soluble in water, and some of the substances, they settle at the bottom. Some of the substances, they are floating on the surface of the water. From this activity, we came to know that some of the substances soluble in water. Sugar and salt, they are soluble in water completely. Remaining substances, they are settled at the bottom. They are insoluble in water. These substances we are calling as the soluble substances. Example, sugar and salt completely dissolved in the water. These are the example for soluble substances, and remaining substances, they are insoluble in water, they settle at the bottom, and some of the substances, they are floating on the surface of water. So these are the insoluble substances. These three are the insoluble substances. So my dear children, you have to do this activity in your home. You have to find which are the soluble substances and which are the insoluble substances. Yes, my dear children, from this activity we came to know that some substances, they dissolve completely in the water. So these substances we are calling as the soluble substances. And some substances which do not dissolve completely in water after the stirring few minutes. So these substances are insoluble in water. Now the materials that can be dissolved in water upon stirring are said to be soluble materials. So the materials which can be dissolved in the water, the materials which can be dissolved in water after this stirring after some time, when it will dissolve completely, those materials we are calling as the soluble materials, as we done in the activity. So best example is salt and sugar. These are the few examples for the soluble materials. Next, the materials that cannot be dissolved in water, no matter how much we stir them, are said to be insoluble materials. The materials which does not dissolve in water after the stirring of few minutes also. So those materials we are calling as the insoluble materials. Here, few insoluble materials are the stone, glass, sand, etc. So these are the some insoluble materials. Water plays an important role in the functioning of our body, because here it can dissolve most of the substances that we are having, that we are eating. So as you know, it will be absorbing most of the substances. That is a major function of the water in our body. And then these are the solid materials. Here salt, sugar, stone. These are some of the solid materials. Do you know liquids also can soluble in water? Do liquids also dissolve in water? Let us do one of the activity. We will do another one activity. So collect the sample of the vinegar. This is the vinegar sample, and lemon juice and oil. I had taken the coconut oil. So you have to collect these three samples. Later you have to fill this cup by using the water. You have to fill some water in each cup. Now you have to add each liquid in each glasses. Now I will add oil to the first cup. Next I will add the lemon juice to the second cup. Next I will add the vinegar to the third cup. So after few minutes, what did you observe from this activity? So from this activity we came to know that some of the liquids can dissolve in the water, and some of the liquids, they are insoluble in water. Some of the liquids, they are insoluble in water. For example, here vinegar completely soluble in water. This is vinegar, it is the liquid completely soluble in the water. Next, lemon juice also completely soluble in the water. But here oil, it will make a separate layer. So oil, it is floating on the surface of the water. So it is not insoluble. It is not a soluble liquid. It is insoluble liquid. So vinegar, it is a liquid completely dissolves in the water. So lemon juice also completely dissolved in the water. But coconut oil, it is not dissolved in the water. It is insoluble in the water, and it makes a separate layer. So coconut oil, it will be floating on the surface of the water. So it is insoluble liquid. We came to know that some of the liquids also dissolved in the water, and some of the liquids, they are insoluble in the water. from this activity we came to know that some liquids also dissolve in the water, and some of the liquids which do not dissolve in the water, they are floating on the surface of the water. The gases also, they will be dissolved in the water. Then which are the gases they are dissolved in the water? For example, molecular formula of water is H2O. Here H is nothing but hydrogen, O is nothing but oxygen. Then how does the animals which are living in the water, they are getting oxygen for the respiration? Means then this oxygen is completely dissolved in the water. So the oxygen is completely dissolved in the water, which is usable by the animals and plants which are present in the water. By using this dissolved oxygen, they are living. So yes, from this we came to know that some of the gases also dissolved in the water. Best example, that is the oxygen, which is very essential for the living organisms. The plant and animals which are living in the water, they will be absorbed by taking the oxygen, by taking the dissolved oxygen present in the water. So they are living. Now we will discuss about the next property of the material, that is the object float or sink in the water. So in the last activity we have came to know about that some of the objects completely dissolved in water, some of the objects they will be sink at the bottom, and some of them they are floating. So now which are the objects which can float in water or which can sink in the water? Now we will discuss. Some of these objects, they can be float on the surface of the water, and some of the objects, so they do not mix with water, those will be settled at the bottom of the container. So here water, best example you can take it as a leaves and paper, some of the plants, they are floating on the surface of the water. So these are floating on the surface of the water. Then which are the objects they are sink in the water? Example, stone or chalkpiece or coin, they will be settled at the bottom of the container. So these objects, they will be sink at the bottom. So this is regarding the objects which can float or sink in the water. Now we will move on to the next one, property of the material, that is the transparency. So in transparency, we have classified the object as the three types. So first one is transparent object, opaque object, and a translucent object. Now we will discuss one by one. First one, that is transparent material or transparent objects. Transparent objects is nothing but the material or objects which can be seen through them are called as the transparent material or transparent objects. So through the transparent material we can see clear picture of the any objects. So which are allowing light to pass through them. So which can be seen very clearly. Those objects we are calling as the transparent object. Best example you can take it as a clear water, air, tracks. So clear water we can see our image, or we can see the image of the any object clearly, it will be visible. That is transparent. Here water, clear water, it is transparent. Here disturbed water, it is not. Undisturbed water, that is clear water, it is transparent. Next, air. So if here air it is present in our surrounding, we can see the object very clearly. So air it is also one of the transparent material. Next, glass. So in the glass also we are getting the clear image of the any objects. So which is also allowing the light to pass through it. So glass is also one of the transparent material. Next is that is the opaque objects or opaque material. So material through which things cannot be seen through them. Opaque is nothing but the objects which cannot be allowed the light to pass through them, or things we cannot able to see. For example, you can take it as this board. So through this board we cannot see any things. So here board it is one of the opaque object. You can take it as a wall. Wall also, through the wall also we cannot see any objects. Here wall is also one of the opaque objects. Another example, wood, stone, metals. So these are the some of the opaque objects. Through the stone also, through the wood also, and some of the metals also we cannot see the object, other objects through them. So these we are considering as the opaque objects. Next one, that is the opaque material or opaque objects. So materials through which things cannot be seen through them. Opaque objects or opaque materials is nothing but through the opaque materials we cannot see the other objects. So things cannot be seen. So this type of objects we are calling as the opaque objects. Best example, wood, stone, metals. Through the wood we cannot see other objects. You can take it as the best example as the board. Through the board can we see any other objects? No. Here board is also one of the opaque object. And another one example, you take it as a wall. Through the wall also we cannot see any objects. Here wall also we can consider as the one of the opaque object. So stone. Through the stone also we never see any objects. So stone is also one of the opaque objects. This next one. Next type of material that is translucent material. Translucent materials are the materials through which things can be seen partially. Things can be seen partially. So these type of materials we are calling as the translucent material. So through these translucent material we can able to see these things. But here things cannot be looked very clearly. They are not looked very clearly. Partially but not completely. Not clearly they are visible. So these type of objects we are calling as the translucent material or translucent objects. For example, frosted glass. Here frosted glass is nothing but, so you can see your classroom windows. The classroom windows, the made up of the glass, that is the frosted glass. So through this we can see the objects which are present. So but we cannot see clearly. Okay, that is frosted glass. Next, oil paper. Next, thin sheets of the plastic. Through the thin sheets of the plastics also we can see the objects, but here we won't get the clear picture of the objects. Next one, butter paper. So this is the butter paper picture. Through this paper also we can see the things, but it is not clear. These are example for the translucent material. So now we can group. So up to here we have grouped the objects according to the transparency, means which are allowing the light, which are not allowing the light, and which allow the light partially through it. So according to that basis transparency we have classified the object. Now we will move on to the next. So thus we can group objects on the basis of their appearance. Up to here we have classified the object, we have separated the objects according to their appearance, according to the hardness, and soluble and insoluble, sink and float, and depending upon the transparency also we have grouped the objects depending upon these properties of the material. So in this way materials can be grouped on the basis of the similarities and difference. So depending upon these properties we have classified the objects depending upon their similarities, which are looks similar and which are looks different by using these properties of the material. Yes, children. So up to here we have classified the object, we have separated the objects according to the properties of the material. So now why do we need to group these objects? See, the purpose is for our convenience to store. We are storing the objects. We are storing the objects for our convenience, to easy to get. For example, so when we are storing the objects according to the similarities, it is very easy to locate in them. It is very easy to locate, and also it is very easy to get these objects without any confusion. Easily we can get the objects. For storage we need the objects. Example, you can take it as in a kitchen room. The spicy product and the materials which we need for cooking purpose we are storing in the kitchen room, which we need for washing purpose. So for example, those materials we are keeping in the bathrooms. Next, convenience to study. So grouping of objects, it will be helpful for the study purpose. As we done metals, so they are having the shiny nature. So all the elements which are having the shiny nature we have grouped as the metals. To study each the characteristics of the metal we have grouped these metals as these elements as the one group. So for studying purpose also we need the grouping of the objects, and also it will be helpful for the similar patterns present in an objects. Yes, my dear children, in this lesson we have learnt about which are the objects present in our surrounding and properties of the materials also we have discussed. Later we have discussed about why we need grouping of the objects, why we have to do group of the objects, what is the importance of the group of the objects also we have discussed. Thank you.